Bringing you the flavor of the Midlands. Live from Columbia, this is Soda City Live.
Hey, welcome back to Soda City Live. Do you know a veteran who deserves to be honored as South Carolina Veteran of the Year? Well, the South Carolina Department of Veterans Affairs is expanding the way that it honors vets in the state with both quarterly and yearly recognitions. So joining us now today is PD Regional Integration Officer Jade Berkeley and Public Information Director of South Carolina Department of Veterans Affairs, Brandon Wilson. Thank you both for joining us. This sounds incredibly exciting because there's so many deserving veterans that need to be recognized.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having us on the show. So we are definitely expanding the way that we are honoring veterans in our state. You know, of course, if you've been following us for the past 2 years, you know that we've had a Veteran of the Week nomination process. Well, now we want to expand that, and we want it to be a Veteran of the Quarter and also a Veteran of the Year process. And ultimately, that Veteran of the Year process is going to be the big shebang of it all. We're planning a ceremony that will honor ultimately who the South Carolina Veteran of the Year will be. So it's a great process. It's a great way to honor our veterans for their service and their commitment, what they do in the state. And of course, Secretary Grimsley is all about, with the South Carolina Department of Veterans Affairs, he's all about honoring our veterans for what they've done and providing a holistic approach for honoring our veterans here in the state.
Yeah, Jade, I'm certain that you hear so many inspiring stories of veterans in our state, all of the service that they've given to our country. I'm sure it makes an impact on you just hearing some of the things that they've done.
It does. It's really moving and fulfilling work that we do. But one of the things that I like to highlight is that it doesn't have to be a veteran who has a drawn out long story or just any traumatic experiences. Any veteran that served will be honored on the South Carolina Department of Veterans Affairs website. All contributions and services worthy of being honored to us.
Yeah. And that's an important point to make because, there's no service that goes really in some ways unrecognized. I just think it's so important that veterans know that they're not only just incredible members of our community, but their service is so appreciated.
It is. We've actually even taken the opportunity to honor veterans that work with us. Jade is a veteran herself. So, I mean, we honor every veteran that is part of the process. And then, of course, we do include in our application process honorable service. And so if you go to our website, scdva.sc.gov, you'll see on there where we have a page that says nominate a South Carolina Veteran of the Year. And so when you look at that page, it kind of explains the entire process of how that works. Of course, you would nominate it for a Veteran of the Week nomination, and then you will be selected by an internal selection committee to be determined if you will be the South Carolina Veteran of the Quarter. There's 4 quarters throughout the year. So then from those 4 quarters, we will select a South Carolina Veteran of the Year. And that's an internal nomination process as well, too. So we wanted to create this where it's a process that's straight across the board. Everything is very transparent, so you'll see on there all the forms that you need to fill out, and we encourage everyone who knows the veteran and they know that they've honorably served, they're doing great community service and work in our community, please fill out the nomination form and let us honor them as the South Carolina Veteran of the Year potentially.
Talk about some of the criteria that you guys are looking for. Is there anything that stands out, or what would make an application stand out?
Well, of course, everyone knows of a veteran. That's the important point of all of this. Everyone knows of a veteran. And as far as the criteria that we're looking for, again, as Jade explained, we're just looking for someone who is honorably served. Of course, it does help if you have been, if you're actively still serving in the community, because we know that some veterans, obviously, once they get out of the military, they still have a passion and desire to serve. So being able to serve in our community, being a part of nonprofit organizations, or even, there's veterans who are business owners who are deserving of some of these honors as well. So it's very important across the board. If you know someone, just nominate them and we will select them.
Jade, what does it mean for a veteran to be recognized in this type of way, for somebody to say, I see you and I recognize your service?
So a lot of times, once veterans are done with their military service, they don't feel like they deserve to be honored anymore. It's a hard transition to go from being a part of a team, like being in the military, and then out in the civilian world. So when we do this thing for them, we're giving them the opportunity to be reminded, hey, we still recognize your service, you made an impact and a difference in this country, and we still value you in South Carolina.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, I think, is saying thanks, and whatever you can do to give recognition where it's due is just such a powerful effort.
It is a very powerful effort. That's one of the reasons why we love what we do on a daily basis. Not only just working for veterans in our community, but also working for veterans who work with us on staff. Half of our staff, more than half of our staff actually, is veteran related. I happen to be a civilian, but I have family members who have served as well. They don't live in this state, but being able to give back in a way of knowing the sacrifice, the service and sacrifices that my family gave, and also being able to work in this position now to be able to help and honor veterans is, you know, one of my passions that I love doing for my job every single day.
Yeah, and once again, how people can nominate somebody, if you want to spell out
Yes.
that process quickly, just so
Yes.
people know.
Sure. So basically, if you go to our website, scdva.sc.gov, we have information on our homepage right there. You just click on that link at the top, and then it'll take you to the nomination page. It spells out all the information there. Again, it's a Veteran of the Week process, so there are 13 weeks within 1 quarter. From that, an internal selection committee will come in. They will select someone to be Veteran of the Quarter. And from that, they will meet again, and at the end of the quarter, the end of the 4 quarters, they will then select a Veteran of the Year from those 4 nominees for the Veteran of the Quarter.
Well, that's great. We can't wait to see who gets
It's gonna be
nominated.
exciting. Yes, yes.
All right. And when will that be announced?
That will be announced near Veterans Day next year.
Okay, great.
Yep.